All right, welcome. It's Terry Levine. Glad to have you, Terry Levine, here from Heartrepreneur. And I have a special guest. I have my friend Ken Krell with me today. Welcome, Ken.
Good morning. Who's that? Oh, it's me. Good morning. Hey,
Yeah,
Terry.
yeah, I'm excited to have you. We're just chatting. I'm over here in Philadelphia and it's hot. And Ken is in the middle of winter, but he's got a short sleeve shirt on. So you're
That's
right.
right. We have heat. We have heat here.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. So I'm so excited. I got to know Ken through my good friend who I love and adore, Justin Dunn. And I met Ken and we just hit it off instantly. And then he told me what he was working on. And I said, I have to interview you here in Heartrepreneurs because so many of you are asking questions about taking the digital stage, right? You're looking at, well, what do I do? And how do I do my business? And I want to be a speaker, I am a speaker, or I want to be on podcasts, or I'm a podcast host. There's all these questions. And Ken can tell you a bit about what he's been up to. And I thought maybe he could give you some tips, some advice, and then maybe a way that you can connect with him. So, Ken, the stage is yours.
Well, oh my gosh, no pressure there.
Yeah, not
So,
much.
dance, boy, dance. So, well, thanks, Terry. I appreciate that. For so many of us that have been used to the physical stage over the past lifetime, right? Things have changed so much. And it's sort of like when, no matter what business you are, if you had a clothing store and you had a fire and it burned your business down, what do you do? Well, it's kind of been the same thing that's happened to us as speakers, presenters, and so on, where that platform has been physically taken away from us. And even if you're a coach, as in Coach Terry, and you were doing remote or mastermind sessions in a hotel or whatever, that's gone too. So the whole dynamic of how we were doing business, as you know, has shifted. Some people have adapted, a lot of people have not. And some people that have adapted with a combination of bad habits that comes from ignorance and not really understanding what you can do in the digital realm. People call it virtual events, right? There's nothing virtual about it. It's all real. Do you want to make virtual love to your spouse? No, you want the real thing. That's what it comes right down to, right? So I call these digital events because, quite frankly, to me, they are very real. They're very in person. And in fact, you'll find that there can be far more intimacy with an audience in a digital event rather like this, because I'm right here, right with you right now, face to face. When you're in the 17th row or the 37th row or the 137th row in a ballroom watching on that video screen up there.
True.
Where's the intimacy?
Definitely true.
So there's a whole different game to play when you understand how to dance the digital dance. And that's what I'm bringing to the table, a combination in our 5-day sprint, which Terry is part of, one of our guest experts, yay. But in addition, the pivoting going from, and I'll tell you what the sprint's all about because it really is kind of fundamental, but the pivoting to owning your own stage where, for example, if you were at effect, not a cause, but effect of this whole situation, I call it the situation, it's like they call a heart attack an episode. Like,
Yeah,
come on, really. Like, it's an episode. Thank you very much. But the whole pivot of, how about owning your own stage? How about creating your own stage so that way you're in charge? Companies, and I'll take it into a business vein. Those businesses that made Walmart their number one customer, where like 80% of their business was Walmart, and then Walmart just said, no thanks, we're going to go somewhere else. They're out of business because they put all those eggs in one basket. We can't do that anymore. We need to own the darn basket. And that's probably the best metaphor for the day in terms of what we need to do as speakers, as presenters, as coaches, as mastermind leaders, as authors. We need to take charge of our own marketing. We need to take charge of our own destiny. And we can, because in this whole domain, I mean, for heaven's sakes, even with a free 40-minute Zoom account, you can do it. Yeah. It really doesn't need to be very expensive at all. In fact, this is nighttime right now. It's 6:11 in the morning here in Sydney, Australia. And I'm talking to you. Are you in Pennsylvania or in Jersey?
I'm in Pennsylvania today.
Okay, so you're in Pennsylvania. Yeah, it's like, what state are you in? I'm in a state of confusion. So in any event, I used to live in Pennsylvania, so we do have that affinity, but we're global. And how is this working? I got 2 lights that are less than $100. Right. I've got a green screen, which is like $50, and Terry's is right behind her over there. I mean, this is all you need to run a studio. And oh boy, I spent a few dollars on my wireless. Oh, actually, it's not. This is a wired mic right now on a lavalier, so I can stand a little bit further away from my screen. Whoa, we're in business. We're in business. You don't need a whole lot to do this thing, you guys, and you don't even need to do this. Frankly, I could have been on my Max mic, and I'm using my Max camera right now. Ooh, so the reality is it's pretty awesome. When I was a paid speaker, I was paid to speak from the stage, and I was paid based on sales, which is pretty cool, but it wasn't my own thing. Now I'm doing my own thing, filling my own rooms with joint ventures like with Terry and with others, but it's mine and it can be yours too. It really depends upon what you choose and what you decide to do. Yeah. You can also begin on other people's stage.
1 second, because that's really important. So, I've been a speaker since I'm 5, but I've been a paid speaker since I'm 21. And
since last week.
Oh, I love you. I love you for so many reasons.
My charm pill today.
Oh, I was working. So what I found over the course of my career is I worked on a lot of producer stages. I won't mention names, but some very, very big stages all over the world, as many as 8,000 people in a room. And that's all great. And when people hear some of my story that I've sold $1 million from stage more than once, they're like, oh my God, you made so much money. And I need to back up and tell you, no, I didn't. Some of the producers don't pay, just being transparent. Some of the producers take 70% and they still have returns. There's all kinds of things in that. So over the last 12 years, most of what I was doing my own events, right? Then if I sold one event, I sold $512,000 in 60 minutes. All of that was mine. I didn't have to share that, right? And I knew I was getting the money. So what is so cool is I still had a lot of expenses. I had to get a room, book a room, get a hotel. I had to market to get people there. That's not so easy. And it's expensive to put those little cute butts in the seats, as we say. And then there were other things that had to happen at the event, right? There was setup, there was refreshments. In my case, there was lunch, there was all kinds of things. Plus I had to travel there. When I back all of that out, the joy and the beauty of virtual events is just what Ken was saying. I don't care who you are. You don't even have to be a great speaker because, as Ken is just going to tell you, you can joint venture with other people, which I'll allow him to get into right now. I just wanted to say, I have Ken here because this is the way to do business today. And I would advocate, no matter what the future holds in our situation, this is really the better way to do business. Go ahead, Ken. Sorry to interrupt.
You're making points that I wanted to make and I've not gotten to yet. So great, thank you. So there's a number of different pieces. Number one, let's just talk about the profitability. Digital events are absolutely proven to be more profitable than physical. You named a bunch of them, but one thing, because of where you're located, you don't have the sensitivity as I do, and that is travel time. Not just the travel expense of the hotels and everything, but when I get on an airplane, I've been living in Thailand for the past 8 years. Now I'm in Sydney for a bit. When I would get on a plane to speak in Hong Kong or speak in Australia or speak in Singapore, whatever, that travel time is long. Or go back to the US, for example, or Canada or London. You take me to the US to speak, for example, that's 24 hours of flying each way. So during that, just the airplane time, not even the like, what am I going to do on the airplane other than maybe sleep, get jet lag, possibly get sick, whatever. Yes, I've gotten sick on airplanes before. Not so much fun. Definitely not so much fun. But that's unproductive time. And then the jet lag component of it that destroys your body for the next week, the cost of that, the opportunity cost is massive. Yes. On a digital scenario, on a digital stage, so we're doing this at 6 o'clock in the morning right now. I've got another call at 7, which is another presentation. I've got another call at 9. I've got a meeting with my protege group at like 9:30. And so I can be incredibly profitable and effective, boom, 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 like that with zero cost. That's huge. It's huge. So we're able to expand our marketplace, take it more globally. I mean, when I was running around Australia, coming in to speak here and there at conferences, I had to fly to Perth. I love Perth. It's an amazing city. Australians go, it's really boring. It's fabulous, right? I I love Perth. But the point is that audience of 30 people in Perth, I could address them in Sydney, in Melbourne, in Hong Kong, in Singapore, in Peoria simultaneously, without having to go to all those different places. So the effectiveness and impact is massive, absolutely massive. And that's a gigantic, gigantic point, right?
I'm really glad you brought that up because before this situation, I was supposed to speak in 9 different countries. And while I love to do that, right, I love to impact people and help more people, I'm being transparent. I usually talk about this. I was dreading the travel, right? Dreading it. I mean, when I was traveling to India and Costa Rica, and once I get there, I love being there. I love being with people. But to be very honest with you, I don't like the hassle of getting to an airport, doing the whole TSA thing, waiting, getting on a plane, hoping the plane isn't delayed or there's no issue. And, you know, lots of times there are, getting off of a plane, getting through customs. And I don't know if you who we're speaking to, if you've done that route before, but I will tell you, people think it's glamorous to be a speaker or a keynote speaker. It's gave me bags under my eyes and my gray hair.
You know, when you talk, it's just tragic. It's like, and lately, so well, I've been wearing pajamas a lot. You know, it's cold. I wear, you know, so I'm doing some of my live streams with my United Airlines PJs. You know, I mean, I swear to God, it's hysterical. Oh yeah, and then there's my America, and then for a while I was wearing my United Airlines slippers. So yeah, that comes from traveling way the hell too much.
Well, I spilled water laughing because yesterday I wore my British Airways PJs. I can't believe this. Oh my gosh, sorry to interrupt.
I've been wearing my United Airlines slippers. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's nuts, right? I mean, and within the next week or so, I'm going to be out of my little airline.
Oops, you're coming in and out all of a sudden.
Yeah. It's,
there we go.
Okay. No, I'm in. I'm out. So, you know, and technology won't stop you either because the technology is really good. So we don't even need to be worried about that. Australia used to be known to have crappy internet. Honest to God, it's great. It's terrific now. So there's nothing to stop you. You made a good point though about having other people speak, and I want to address that because I don't usually talk about that, and it's fundamental. So I have a group of people right now in my protege group, and a big chunk of them, they're an amazing group. It's so much fun to work with these guys and gals. Guys, the generic. Don't get upset out there in politically correct land. But a lot of them don't yet have a platform upon which to speak, meaning they don't know what they're going to sell yet. They don't know exactly what their offer is going to be, but they don't have to because they can put someone else on the stage to speak for them and be the producer of the event and still make money, still get the experience, still begin to build a leverage and build an audience by being the host. And I'll give you a perfect example of that. Hang on, my alarm is going to make me up right now. And stop that. There we go. And by the way, one of the wonderful things about this is that when we are doing digital and the cat runs across the table, and I mean, I've got one woman I talked to and her cat has the tail goes like this. It's just straight up. It's just like a shark going across this. It's hysterical. People want to see you. They want to see your humanity. You know, they want like your wake up alarm. Oh, cool. You know, I mean, your mother calling. It makes it so much more human and intimate, right? It's really important. Anyway, to come back to the producer thing, which really takes away everyone's objective. I can't do that. Bull, you can, because you can produce an event and never even have to speak at all. I did it, and I'll take it to the nth degree to speakers, 28 and a half hours. It was our opportunity fund. And you know, what I realized, Terry, I didn't even speak. I interviewed everybody. I was on camera the whole time, but I did not do a presentation at all. I forgot, frankly. I was hosting it and didn't make a lot of money, but boy, did it ever position me. Boy, did it ever put me back in the game, give me great momentum, built relationships with those 55 plus speakers, and catapulted this whole new avenue of my business. And I was not the speaker. I mean, I hosted it for sure.
And what I tell people all the time, and this is really an important lesson, is create an affinity. So you get positioned through an affinity, right? So like Jack Canfield has written a foreword for one of my books, and on Jack Canfield's assisting team. And Joe Battaglia is a friend of mine who co-authored a book with me and who wrote a foreword for a book with me, and who, I can just go on and on. You position yourself with other people. That's how you get branding. That's how you get credibility. It's how you create authority and how you get known. So the fact that Ken didn't speak, in my view, actually is a good thing. A lot of times when I've produced events, I have not spoken. And just by having the other people there, I have elevated my position. So let's just say I didn't sell a thing, didn't make any money. That positioning is what you'd pay $25,000 to get on Good Morning America. I really mean that. All right, we have 3 more minutes. So tell people how to connect and get with you, because I love who you are. I love what you're doing. And I want all of my Heartrepreneur family members to get in on what you're up to.
Okay, let's get everybody in here real quick. The 5-day sprint to the digital stage, which is all about how to become a guest on podcasts globally. It's huge. The idea, real simply, is that you can now position yourself on other people's stages for free. There's no fees or anything. The podcast hosts need guests desperately, and they need good guests. So you're going to learn how to find the right podcast. You're going to learn how to be the ultimate guest. The questions you need to have the podcast host ask you that will position you for massive success that nobody teaches, but there's one guy who teaches it in a bonus session that you get on day 1. He is the most amazing human ever. Some guy named Bauer. Eddie Bauer.
The name might be familiar. I may have said it once or twice.
Eddie Bauer is wearing his clothes. No, Joel Bauer is with us. And again, for me, I'm bringing on a team of people that are world class, like the world's top podcast producer, Tracy Hazard. I've got some Terry Levine chick coming on board. I forget. She's a hottie.
I hear she's cool.
she's a hottie. I'm telling you. I swear to God, she's amazing. And so in a bonus session, and there's a lot more. You can get to the page to see all that, but you want to enroll. And when you enroll, because of Terry and because of how I love her, you get to save a big chunk of money too. So there is a link we made for you, right? It's 5daysprint.com.
Yeah. So is it 5daysprint.com? Say what it is, and we'll drop it in. Ken, you can go into the Heartrepreneurs with Terry Levine Facebook group and drop in the link under this. What is the link again? I can't remember.
5daysprint.com / Coach Terry. And that's COACHTERRI. Get it right. Now, when you get there, you must, when you get to the page, you will enroll. It's really important that you join us. It begins on the 24th, so it's in a little bit, or depending upon when you watch this video. But here's the thing. When you get to the page, it's going to say $97. But no, that's retail. We don't do retail. That's a religious experience. You don't do retail. It's sacrilegious to pay retail. That is the 11th commandment. Thou shalt pay retail. Put in this code. Write this down, boys and girls. Sprint55, Sprint55. That will save you $42, and you'll invest only $55.
What?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that. That is super awesome. So gang, what I will do for you is I'll go to this live and I will post, just so you don't have to write this all down. It'll be 5daysprint.com / Coach Terry. And then the code of Sprint55, which is so generous and so awesome. I had to come here and interview Ken because I love what he's doing. And I know that this will help so many of you. Oh my gosh, the price is ridiculous. And it is truly an investment.
I got yelled at for this yesterday, actually.
Well, you should. It's too cheap.
That's exactly what my friend Sally watched. She said, I've never seen more heartfelt testimonials ever. She said, what in the heck is wrong with you? It should have been multiple times that. Why are you giving yourself away? So we're having a conversation. But it's true. The value that's come out of that, the people that have come out of that, the group is incredible. So if you're fun, you should come join us. Bottom line. And we'll transform it.
Thank you. You are fun. You are transformational. You're doing a great service. I love you. So hugs across the pond, and thanks for getting up so early to be here with us. And I'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Thanks, everybody. Looking forward to working with y'all.
Bye, everybody.